Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King 2. And today I'm gonna be giving you part 7 of What If Naruto was sent to the Justice League world. Remember to get this one to 300 likes as usual, share this to all of your friends in your social media platform, and also guys, go ahead and check out the brand new episode of What If Naruto and Sasuke were taken by Itachi, and enjoy that guys over on Anime King. And remember, if you're new and this is the first time you hear my voice and you enjoy the videos on both Anime King and Anime King 2, go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and support. And yeah, without further ado, what is to begin this new episode? Start the intro. So, the last time we left off, as Naruto was under the control of the Black Mercy, who was showing him a life that he would have wanted. But Mongol and Mongol Jr. had changed the Black Mercy to turn it into something to cause pure emotional trauma, because instead of showing you the life that you always wanted, it will twist and make everything that you always wanted die in front of your eyes. As Naruto saw Kaguya kill everyone, as Diana was there, his mother, his father was there, Jiraiya, all of them were alive. Naruto never witnessed most of them dying this time because Jiraiya went to fight Pain. He never saw his parents, so he had to watch Kaguya slaughter all of them as he lost it. As Naruto broke free out of the Black Mercy, as the clones this spell had given bad information, so he knew where he was. Naruto went crazy and bloodlust was leaking from him as he found Mongol and Mongol Jr. He started decimate them and their entire ship, an army that they had came after Naruto. As Naruto slaughtered each and every one of them, he got stabbed, he got cut, but he went through it like it was nothing. As his bloodlust was rising, his bloodlust was at its peak, he was getting crazy, he was getting angry, as he slaughtered Mongol and Junior. After making Mongol watch before he slaughtered his son, to make him realize the pain that he put people through. Because it was 10 years. Even though it was just a couple of minutes outside, it was 10 years Naruto that he spent with Diana and his daughter and everyone else. As Diana and the others came on the planet that Naruto was on, after seeing what happened, they quickly rushed to John to find the location as they came there. As Diana saw him have on his mask, she rushed towards him as she hugged him, seeing the state that he was in. As John called the other Green Lantern Corps members, as they took the other members away, because they were trapped in the Black Mercy for so long. They didn't know if pulling them out of it right now would make them be subconscious of the world, or go crazy. As Naruto spoke to Diana for a long time, as that break, that they want to date together, and Naruto was currently off right now, they were going to take it, as she told John tell them that she won't be back until a week. And with that she head off with Naruto. A lot of tempting happened while they were in the ship, but Naruto didn't want to do anything now as he wanted them to have a beautiful moment together, as she didn't really know what she liked to do, because most of the time she spent, well, fighting and all that. So the both of them made their way towards many events on a planet that was filled with different races, as they enjoyed their time a lot as Naruto saved the dying planet. So the people there loved him, as Naruto and Diana had a wonderful time going all over watching space football and enjoying the time as they stopped at the hotel at the night. As the both of them stood on the balcony, as Naruto had told her about the dream that he had while in the control of the Black Mercy. As he didn't want to tell her though because he thought that she would think that he's, well, pushing things, it was too early. But she just told him that forever was a long time. But he was really in love with her. And never been in love this way before, her feelings were just magnified. As feeling this way with him, she has never felt to anyone before. She knew that he was the person she wanted to spend her life with. As the both of them stayed at the hotel that night, wrapped up in each other's arms. So yeah guys, so basically that's where we left off. You guys can switch across to the place and check it out for yourself. So what's the beginning of this new episode? I don't want to go back there in a wine in the bed inside Naruto's spaceship. If her fellows from Justice League saw her action at the moment, they would think someone was impersonating her. It was difficult to believe that a princess, and 3,000-year-old princess, was throwing a tantrum like a child, much to Naruto's amusement. And As it has become a habit for what he had done over the past week, he activated a tiny camera to record this tantrum scene of hers. As he chuckled to himself, I can't wait to see the look on her face once she sees videos of herself. As he was giggling to himself, you know my stance on this, Naruto. I don't want you to go back to Earth either. But he started chuckling again as she buried her face in the pillow and yelled. Then she rolled on her back as she looked at the ceiling. Naruto smirked as he jumped on top of her as he started tickling her. No tickling, she said. Let me go. She screamed and laughed at the same time as Naruto was not giving up. Kramer, help me, she said. Shut the hell up, Kramer said. I swear, no one can get some rest these days. What are you, kids? But the two of them continued to laugh as they wrestled and rolled in the bed. As his play slipped, then suddenly stopped. As Naruto kissed Diana, as he flipped off the bed. 5-3 in my favor, he said. As he left the bathroom, it's 4-3, not 5. This morning did not count, and you said you would stop keeping scores. As the one thing she got from him was him laughing. That shaking of the ship was them leaving the space warp. Now the Earth was about 15-20 minutes of spaceflight away. As she entered the control room to see him sit in the pilot's seat, as he was putting in commands for Earth. As she came behind him and placed her chin on top of his head. After 1 week with Naruto, she felt very reluctant to go back to Earth and deal with all the problems that were waiting for her. You really don't need to go back to Earth. Justice League has grown much stronger than before, hasn't it? You said so yourself. You have more than 100 members by now. She nuzzled her face into his red blonde spiky hair. Your hair smells so nice today, she said. You're finally using shampoo I bought for you. As she did not give him a straight answer. Previously, he only had one bottle for hands, face, and the rest of the body and hair. Even Kramer used the same thing as well when he took a bath. But Diana found it inconceivable. Now there are over 5 types of shampoo bottles and other body lotion and all that. You know, I like fighting crime. I love protecting the innocents and beating the delights out of criminals. But what I don't like is dealing with Lex Luthor and the other politicians that are scheming in the dark. Those that manipulate the public opinion to hating Justice League and creating an anti-metahuman movement. I hate it when they can do what they want by taking advantage of loopholes, knowing that we can't touch them, as long as they don't break the law. And even if they break the law, they buy their way out of jail, with bribes and good lawyers, she said that sigh. When we were smaller, we didn't have to deal with most of this, but now that we have gotten larger, things have changed. Now we have to deal with everyday politics. It's like the whole world is out to get us. As she came around and sat down in his lap. She had spent 1 week in Naruto, visiting new places and relaxing, something that she has not done in years. It had helped a great deal in relieving her stress and improve her mental state. But the closer to Earth she got, the more irritated and tired she became. I'm serious, Diana. I mean, since we're already here in the soul system, we could go back for some goodbyes and spend some time with your friends. But it's not like we need to stay for a long time. It's not like Justice League need you specifically longer, said Naruto. It's too early to leave now. The League did grow stronger than before, but things are too fresh and uncertain. There's a lot of attention on us at the moment as well from the entire world. The League need me. After all, I'm one of the founding members, and one of the strongest too, she said. Hearing her answer, Naruto did not insist, as he knew that she wanted to be with him, but she didn't want to throw away her sense of responsibility either. She cared about Earth and its people, about preserving the peace and protecting the innocents. Although she was not happy of tackling the other problems that came with it, she just didn't want to run away from it. Well, I won't leave right away. I promise that we will spend the Christmas together. And there's still 2 to 3 weeks until then, if I'm not mistaken. Not just a Christmas. Stay for New Year too, she said. As he saw the look on her face, he just smiled. Okay, New Year too, he said, as he kissed her on the forehead. While two of them were cuddling together on the pilot's seat, as Kramer hopped right in Diana's thigh. Naruto, I'm hungry, he said. Naruto laughed. Nothing else mattered for Kramer once he got hungry. Well then, what's it gonna be this time, said Naruto. Leave it as it is. Vanilla is good once in a while. As Naruto created a Rasengan, as he started to feast on the spear of Chakra, as both Diana and Naruto chuckled. Time skip. Darkseid is dead? What the hell? How did that happen? A few things would surprise Naruto nowadays. As Kramer's ears were not just for nothing, he could hear the Justice League discussing. Apparently, Darkseid had requested their help against some super intelligent robot that attacked Apocalypse, named Brainiac, as they did not know that Darkseid had been in cahoots with Brainiac to capture Superman. But in the end, Darkseid backstabbed both Brainiac and Justice League. But he underestimated the larger Justice League. He ended up dying in the explosion of an asteroid base in a big battle against the Justice League. Or at least, that's what they're saying, said the Kyuubi. As Naruto started to think, Darkseid was even someone that he was wary of, because he knew he could not fight in the planet, Apocalypse, where he could not hold his 6-man siege mode. If it was somewhere else where he could hold his mode, he could handle him, but on that planet. To think that they've grown strong enough to even kill someone like Darkseid. Have I underestimated Justice League? When I fought against the Justice Lords, they weren't anywhere near powerful enough to defeat someone like Darkseid. As Naruto's finding it hard to believe that Darkseid died in that matter, or that he died at all. No way someone who conquered an entire dwarf galaxy died in such a lame way. I wouldn't trust something like this unless I saw his dead body myself. Meanwhile, with the crew, I'm on a vacation for 1 week, and this is when all this exciting thing happens, said Wonder Woman, as she joked lightly. Superman looked at her strangely. Since when did Wonder Woman start joking? Is Darkseid really dead though? How did you kill him? Did you see his dead body, she asked, as her thought process was the same as Naruto's. We didn't kill him, Flash said. He died in an explosion. So you did not see his corpse, she asked. Brainiac Base was an asteroid, no smaller than a moon. No one could have survived that explosion like that. Not you, not even Superman, Batman said, and Superman supported his words. Darkseid is really finished for good. One of our most dangerous enemies is finished for good. By the way, what have you been up to for the past week? Kara told me that you spent some time with your lover. Ever since I joined Justice League 2 years ago, I've always been tense and ready to fight. No time for rest, no time for break. Always on the lookout. Even during Christmas or New Year's. 1 week long holiday has been a long overdue break. Wonder Woman said that smile. She thought about her time with Naruto. It's good to have you back, Diana. I assume things are going well with you and Mr. Uzumaki, said Martian Manhunter. How did you figure that out, she said. Are you kidding? When have we ever seen you cracking jokes? Or smile like that? Said Flash as she turned her head in a bit of embarrassment. Other than the incident with Darkseid, has anything happened in the past week? No order, she asked, trying to change the subject. Nothing out of the ordinary, but I'm concerned with the growing unrest between the midst of the general population. There was even a protest in the streets against Justice League a few days ago. Nothing large was worrisome, said Martian Manhunter, as he played a video on the screen. Almost 300 people could be seen in front of the little plant in Metropolis. As you see, it's a very small protest, but as they gather in front of the little plant, it went all over the media. Social media platforms are all over it now. Martian Manhunter said, Superman, you work at the Daily Planet as Clark Kent, couldn't you? He shook his head. I'm just an editor. I have little say in this. I cannot control what my co-workers do. Besides, it is in their right to protest and express their opinions. Free speech is a right. Wonder Woman rubbed her forehead. She could feel the beginning of a headache. That was what she hated. She was a warrior. She wanted to fight crime and to protect people. But now she had to deal with this politics and all that. She was protecting them, and they were fighting against them. Superman and Lois Lane fought 2 days ago. They're not talking to one another. Flash whispered to her. As Superman pinched his nose. You do realize I have super hearing, right? Oops, said Flash. Ever since they revealed their identities to each other, his relationship with Lois Lane was a running joke amongst them. Similar to how Flash tried every time to try and get a date, but always failed. When the meeting was over, Martian Manhunter asked, When are you ready to resume your duties, he said. In 2 days, starting next week on Monday, she said. He looked at the tablet, as it was a large and complex shift of all the new members of Justice League. There were almost 150 heroes already, and the number was growing in the past week. Creating a schedule was becoming rather difficult, because most of them had families and jobs in their civilian identities. But Martian Manhunter was the brain of the operation, so he knew all the zones that lacked and needed manpower. We will need you 4 days next week, for 8 to 12 hours every day, Monday and Tuesday, on the African continent in Nigeria. There's a new arm of rebels that are planning to overthrow the government, in the objective of installing a toll regime. We need to put a stop to it before they actually do it. As he then checked again, Friday and Saturday, you'll be needed in Asia. Our satellites detected suspicious radiation level on the territory of North Korea. We have to investigate and see the exact cause. It could be that they're trying to develop a new type of nuclear weapon, or it could be a nuclear accident and they're trying to cover it up. Regardless, the human casualties suffer in the process. We have to investigate the situation and deal with it accordingly. Friday and Saturday could take us to 4 to 5 hours, or it could be a 48-hour ship. It depends on what situation is going to be. Is that okay with you, we asked, as she wrote down details of her assignment for next week on a piece of paper. It is fine with me, she said. I have to go now, but if anything urgent comes up, don't hesitate to call me. Once she left, Flash spoke. She's happier than I ever seen before, and we've known her for years. Naruto is really treating her well, huh? She'd head over heels for him. It looks like Mr. Uzumaki is a very good influence on her, said Martian Manhunter. I wish that things were good as that between Lois and me, said Superman. Let me guess, said Batman. Your latest fight was not just about the protest, was it? Ever since I revealed to her that I was Superman, things have not been the same. As he paused, like he did not want to say this, but he still spoke. I feel like all along she has been attracted to Superman. Find out that Superman was also Clark Kent. The country bunkers from Kansas must have disillusioned her. We've been to a few dates, but we always get up in a fight for some reason. Flash has never been in a serious relationship before, so we did not know to answer that. And Martian Manhunter, well, he was Martian Manhunter from a different planet. And Batman did not want to get involved in people's love life, especially that he also dated Lois Lane as Bruce Wayne in the past, before Justice League creation, much to Superman jealousy back then. As for John Stewart, he was not on Earth at that moment, he was on Green Lantern Corps for some business. I think me and Lois are just not working, he said, as he looked towards the door. Wonder Woman had left. Don't try to do something stupid, said Batman. While Superman's strange look towards Wonder Woman had been gone, unseen by Flash or Martian Manhunter, the ever-perceptive Batman had caught it right away. He was not nicknamed the world's greatest detective for no reason. I don't know what you're talking about, Superman said, but inwardly he was surprised by Batman. Keen senses and observation. He had worked with him on a daily basis, but there were still moments when he was startled by him. An ordinary human with just these keen senses. Batman shrugged his shoulders. Do whatever you want, but remember to not drag others into your matters. After he said that, Batman left, leaving behind a confused Flash and Martian Manhunter and a vexed Superman. The meaning of Batman's words were not lost to him. If he did something bad, it would paint the entire Justice League in a bad light. He was one of the leading and most iconic figures after all. As he was frustrated, but it was too late in a way. Diana looked like she's head over heel for Naruto. Even I can see that. I only have myself to blame that I was pinned to the wrong woman for so long. It's my fault I didn't try to get closer to her when I had the chance. The moment he realized he was complete in a relationship with a different woman, not Lois Lane, guilt beat at his heart. But he also realized that the relationship with Lois Lane is not going to work out. I think I should end it sooner or later. No point in dragging it out. It will be better if we do this quickly and smoothly. The only thing he was afraid of that she might make his identity public, but he shook his head. She would not do that. She's a good woman. She would never do something like that. Just because the relationship was not working did not mean his opinion of her had become something bad. They could continue to be friends and get along in their job like before. As Martian Manhunter and Flash went off, he pulled out his phone as he started to scroll through his contacts. It took him a while, but he got to the number as he pressed it. As he placed phone to his ear. Clark, is that you? You haven't called me in ages. How are you? As he smiled, yes, it's me, Lana. I just want to see how you're doing. I haven't heard from you in a while. The famous and extremely busy Superman took his time to call little old me, she said, as he smiled at her, teasing. Not exactly little anymore, your clothing line has become quite famous in Paris, hasn't it? No, you're even extended as well. How do you... Oh, so you're actually keeping an eye on me. Should I be scared or happy that you're stalking me? He chuckled at her words. It's not stalking, it's my duty to look over my friends. A short silence followed after that. Say, Lana, would you like to meet and catch up for dinner today? He asked. I don't know, Clark. This is too sudden. There's a fashion show in Milan that I had to attend today. And besides, I'm gonna be exhausted. After all, I'm gonna be wearing heels the entire time. Besides, weren't you and that reporter Lois Lane a thing? We haven't spoken in 2 days and we argue all the time. It's not working for us. She was always in love with Superman, the country boy Clark Kent. Was not good enough for her. I see, said Lana. As he was the one that turned on Lana, after all, they had grew up together. As she knew about his identity, she had left the US to Europe, where she became a fashion designer. They grew more distant over the years, and they didn't really keep in touch anymore, like they used to. As he realized now after this, Lana Lang, as she had accepted him, the girl next door, which he was naive enough to think of as a friend only. But his view of her changed completely 3 years ago when she returned to USA. As she became a very attractive woman, a successful fashion designer, and she had started a relationship with Lex Luthor. And she betrayed him and exposed his terrorist deals. And she did that for him, to make sure that Lex would get put away. Remember what she did for him. He realized that she still cared for him, despite the time that passed. So where exactly in Milan is their fashion show taking place? I can be there in a few minutes. As she chuckled, as Clark Kent or Superman, she asked. I will come as Clark Kent. I can even write a article about your fashion show if you want. What if I want you to come as Superman? Oh, I wouldn't do that, he said. I wouldn't want to steal your thunder. After all the focus would be on me. You prat, she said, as the both of them started to laugh. Time skip. So this is where you live, said Naruto as he entered Wonder Woman's apartment. It was very spacious, as he was on the top floor of a skyscraper. as he could see a gorgeous view of the city from here. Are you surprised? She asked. A bit. I was expecting you to live in some ancient manor, on the mountain or something, he said. She slapped him right in the butt as he jumped. What? She said. You enjoyed slapping mine over the past week. I suppose I could do the same with yours. It was one of the rare moments when his face became red. Oh, so you do get flustered as well. As she kissed him and made her way to her bedroom. As she returned 3 minutes later, she took off her armor, put on some casual clothes instead. Pair of grey sweatpants and a baggy blue t-shirt. Don't just stand there, come. Make yourself at home, she said, as she pulled him over to the sofa. As Naruto pulled off his cloak and put on the sofa, she looked him over. I think we should go and buy some normal clothes. You can't just go around your combat clothes everywhere. People look at you like you come from a sci-fi movie or something. From an earthling point of view, look like a battle soldier suit. As he had a belt around his waist that had daggers inside it. Strange daggers. And also the armor. Plaques around his chest and arm. If he was placed next to Earth, superheroes like Superman and some others, his attire would not catch attention, but Diana want to spend time with him around Earth, so yes, you want me to change. So when you start your hero work again? In 2 days, she said. Want me to tag along with you, he said. It would be fun to do some missions together. She hesitated. I would love that, but I don't think it would sit well with the rest of Justice League. Don't forget, you're still a boogeyman for them. It wasn't too long before you and Kramer destroyed a plant. They're still scared by that. As Naruto looked bummed out by that. Speaking of Kramer, I haven't known him as long as you do, but I think he's been acting strange in the past days. After leaving the Watchtower and coming to the Earth. As Naruto was told by Kramer to drop him in Africa. Now that you mentioned it, I see too. He's been away for long periods of time. Maybe it's because of me, said Diana. He's probably trying to give us space. And he doesn't want to feel like the third wheel. I don't know about that, said Naruto. I think he just fell in the mood to bully and beat us from lions. He's always doing that to the apex predator of any planet he go to. Last time we came to Earth, he beat up and ate a bear in the mountain. Something about showing everyone who's the top dog. But you may be right, he's been quite distant on Genesis Stadium too. I'll go talk to him today, he said. Oh, he said, as he got and picked up his cloak. Where are you going, she asked. I have to go and see Dr. Fate. He's been very helpful the last time, helping me remove the natural engine from my body. Since I'm back to Earth, I should pay him a visit. Want to tag along? Maybe some other time. I'll wait for you here at home. You might even find a surprise when you come back, she said, as she followed to the door. As he was about to leave, she grabbed him by the cloak. Didn't you forget something? What do you mean, Naruto asked. As he was acting ignorant. Naruto, she said. He chuckled as he cuffed her cheeks and kissed her on the lips. What was supposed to be a quick goodbye kiss became quite longer when she wrapped her arms around him, not letting him go. At this rate, you made me not want to leave anymore, he said when they finally break apart. She giggled and pecked him on the lips one more time. Now you're free to go. As she turned him around, she slapped him on the ass one more time and pushed him out of the apartment. He didn't have time to say anything as she closed the door right in front of his face. Good grief, Naruto said. Who is she? And what has she done to the princess from before? Seeing that she used to flush over the smallest displays from him. Now look what she was doing. What has he done to her? As he chuckled to himself. Time skip. As Naruto's spaceship landed down. As there was only a single building there. Forests all around them. As it didn't look like anyone lived there. As Naruto entered sage mode. As he saw the thick energy surrounding the tower. There was an entire network of spells covering it. Confirming that he was at the right location in scanning sage mode. Dr. Fate, do you hear me? He asked. One of the walls started to glow. And a bright, golden portal appeared. Mr. Uzumaki, do come in. A voice said from behind the portal. As he stepped through the portal, he was in a rather dark room, as it had a natural red undertone, giving the room a mystical feeling. Welcome to my humble abode. An old man greeted Naruto. He had grey hair, and he was dressed in normal clothing. Nothing humble about this place, Naruto. If I'm not mistaken, this is a pocket dimension, isn't it? I take it this is not the first time you've seen one, Dr. Fate asked. You can say that, yes. What brings you here today? Do you need my help, Fate asked. No, everything's good, said Naruto. I just came to Earth today, and I just came to say hi. Sorry for the uninvited. Just popping up, said Naruto. As Fate turned his head, Inza there, we have a guest. Do you mind bringing in the refreshments? As he showed Naruto to a couch, and he sat down next to the coffee table. I looked at your tower with my sage move for a bit. There's an impressive number of spells. I wouldn't be too far off to call this place a fortress. I have made many enemies over the years, enemies of a magical nature. As a sorcerer, I can never be too careful, said Fate. As Naruto pulled out a scroll, as Fate looked at it, as he unsealed it, as Fate saw the kanji on the scroll, as he placed hand on top of it, there was a poof. As a communication tablet appeared. Most intriguing. I didn't know you were a magician too. Magician is a very broad term. You know that better than I do, said Naruto. But yes, you could say I'm wielding magic powers as well. As he knew that he could create small dimensions in sealing scrolls to store objects, but there was nothing compared to what Dr. Fate could do. creating pocket dimension could hold living beings. After all, they were in one right now, as Naruto was clearly aware of fate, superiority when it came to magic, as chakra was like a cousin to magic, and it was used for the fighting aspect, not for the complex use of spells like what Dr. Fate did. Just then, a beautiful woman that looked like she was in her 30s came in, pushing a trolley with cookies and nectar, as she was none other than Inza, Dr. Fate's wife. Diana told me that Earthlings have a custom to give their friends presents during the holidays. I know it's still early, but I want to offer it to you now, so I won't disturb you at that time. Dr. Fate looked at Naruto in surprise. He had only helped cure Naruto at the request of the Justice League. He did not expect Naruto to think of him as a friend because of that. You are a sorcerer and a very wealthy man. I did not know what to give you. This is a communication device. You can contact me through it, no matter where in the universe I am. It's a technology belonging to the new gods of Genesis. As you grab a cookie and bit from it, I know you're powerful and don't really need anyone's help. But the universe is a large place and you don't really know what could happen next. If you ever find your place and tight spot, don't hesitate to call me, said Naruto. I will help you, I promise. By the time he left the tower, it was dark outside, as he called for the long time, with a couple of minutes because of the spaceship. Flying above New York at night gave him a very beautiful view. As he arrived and rode the elevator towards the top floor where the woman's apartment was. As he knocked on the door, but no one answered, so he opened the door. The moment he did, a thick cloud of smoke blasted him right in the face. What the hell? Diana! Diana! As he closed the door and rushed into the apartment. I'm here. As Naruto arrived in the kitchen, the smoke was so dense, he could almost not see his hands. And there she was wearing an apron. With a bowl in her hand, she was cooking. What are you doing? He asked, as she poured the bowl of water in the pot on the stove. As the cold water and the warm water connected, as it blew the pot right off the stove, as the smoke became even more dense, as water started to leak from the ceiling as well, thinking that it was a fire because of smoke. The door then burst open as firefighters came inside, worried because of the intense smoke. Her neighbors had called the firefighters. Thanks, Skip. After they dealt with that and told them what really happened, they couldn't go back there for at least 2 to 3 days. Now, 2 to 3 hours later, they were in her hotel room, sitting in silence. The rims of her eyes were red. She looked like she was about to cry at any moment. Eventually, she buried her face in her hands and she started to cry. As for Naruto, he was torn between wanting to laugh and wanting to comfort her. As he came next to her and put an arm around her, rubbing her back softly. It's okay, don't cry, nothing happened, he said. I'm sorry, she said. I want to give you a surprise, but I was so useless at it. I never cooked before. Luckily, she was still, holding her face in her palms, or she would have seen the traitorous grin on his face. As amused as the situation was, he realized she was crying for real. In the end, she cried herself to sleep in his arms, as he brought her straight to the suite's bedroom. As he placed her down and placed her to sleep, and placed a comforter over her, as he wondered, why did she cry so hard? Why was she so upset? Maybe because she ruined her apartment. But she didn't strike me as someone who cares about material so much. Besides, I have enough gold to buy another place if I wanted. And I'm sure she has plenty of money too. As he was rather confused. He wanted to ask for someone's opinion, but he did not have other friends. And also, Kramer was not there. Maybe I'll find an answer on the internet, he thought. She had brought her laptop with her as well, among several other things. As he opened it was already running. As he noticed it was open on an Internet Explorer page. 10 ways to show your significant other that you appreciate him. 1. Compliment him and tell him he's handsome. 2. Cook for him. The fast way to a man's heart is through his stomach. The image of his wife waiting for him, cooking, while he came from a hard day at work, is a delight for a man. 3. Give him long hugs. As Naruto understand why now, why she was acting that way. As she could not cook to make him happy. But he had never had such expectation from her in the first place. He knew that she was raised as a warrior. He was not going to expect her to act like a housewife and do chores. To think you were that self-conscious about this, he said, as his heart filled with warmth. At the moment, Superman was not having a good day. So that's it. We're just gonna end it like that. As he was inside of a restaurant in Metropolis. I thought you invited me out for a romantic dinner, not that you were going to break up with me. As she was dressed in a rather elegant black dress, her hair coming down to her back, and heels. As Clark exhaled. Don't tell me you haven't seen it yet, Lewis. It just doesn't work. We have different views and none of us is willing to compromise. We end up arguing every time we go out on dates. So you're just gonna give up? Am I the only one that care about this relationship? Oh, I get it, you're a superhero, so you can get any woman you want. No point in sitting and nagging journalists like me, so that's it. He looked around, thinking that someone heard her saying that he was a superhero as he frowned. I thought you knew me better than that, he said. Yes, I also thought I knew you better than that, but it turns out that Clark Kent was Lois, he said. A few heads turned. As a waiter then came over, "Sir, with all due respect, we would appreciate you lower your voice. Do not disturb the other customers." "I apologize," said Clark. As he turned towards Lois, "Let's talk like adults, without pointing fingers and throwing insults." As she was just remaining silent, so he went on. "This relationship doesn't make sense. We're both just arguing and hurting each other. Your father also never liked me in the first place, and he isn't really subtle about it. Furthermore, this about my latest argument on the protest incident," she asked. Superman had to blink twice. "Are you not hearing what I'm saying?" he asked. "What's there to listen to? You're just sleek work. It's more important than me." "What's the other reason?" she said. As he sighed in irritation, at one point he thought he was in love with her. But now, Lana had dropped everything and flew over the ocean to help me. When people believed that Clark Kent was assassinated, and she helped betray Lex, putting her life in danger for my sake, while we were nothing but friends. And here is Lois, for whom my feelings didn't matter as much for a damn newspaper headline. Looks like it doesn't matter what I say. You will just ignore it anyway. Since that's the case, I'll stop trying to explain myself. It's just not working between us. But I hope you're smart enough not to reveal my identity. It won't end well for you." She clenched her fist. "Are you threatening me? You think I'm afraid that I won't have to do anything," he said. "There are hundreds of meta-humans out there that want nothing but to hurt me, and those who are close to me. If that day comes when my identity is leaked, I will make sure to protect my mom and pa. But I will leave you to the wolf, and you should be well aware how incompetent the police are when it comes to meta-human forces. Yes, even your father, General Lane, won't be able to keep you safe, and the only one to blame would be yourself. This wasn't how you want to end things between the two of them. You want to part ways good, and remain friends after that." No, he regretted he ever told her his true identity. "See you at work tomorrow," he said, as he got to his feet. As he started to leave, "Kent," as he turned to look at her, "You're right, I'm smart enough to keep my mouth shut, but trust me when I say this, you will regret it." "I'm regretting it already. Goodbye, Lois." As he left, as he could hear her shouting as he left, as the waiter asked her to leave, as she got into an argument with him, as he went into the alley and changed his uniform, as he flew off, as his mind went to a red-haired woman, her teasing smile, thinking about Lana, his bad mood from his fight just with Lois had vanished, as a smile came on his face. Time skip. As Clark took off his glasses and rubbed the bridge of his nose, as he sighed, a very, very long sigh. Due to him being a Kryptonian, nowadays he didn't really get tired, but his mind felt exhausted. Hell had no fury like a woman scorned, huh? As he put the newspaper on the table and grabbed his mug of coffee to sip from it, as he saw the headline, "I won't kill you, but hospital bills will kill you," by Lois Lane. It was an article on what he was involved in. He had forged some criminals from rejoining the Intergang. Well, maybe it's because of his past with the Intergang, or it was the weeks of stress that started to get to him. He had been a bit careless with his strength, and one of the criminals ended up with a broken leg. 2 weeks has passed since he broke up with her, and every time she found a chance, she write an article about him, something bad, and also bringing Justice League in as well. As everything was just piling up. "I told you not to do something stupid, to implicate the rest of us," Batman's words rang through his head. With every passing day, I started to understand my other self from the other dimension. Can't the others see that we're doing this to help the others, to help them? As he picked up the newspaper again, as he placed in the mug, as he flipped again, Maxwell Lord and Lois Lane together. Billionaires are flocking to the star journalists of the Daily Planet like moth to a flame. Years ago it was Lex Luthor, then it was Bruce Wayne. Now look at Maxwell Lord, felt Lois Lane charms. We can't help but wonder what's her secret to attracting powerful man. Superman crumbled the newspaper in his hands as he threw it back down on the coffee table. He felt like the anger and frustration he had bottled up over the past few weeks were bubbling up too much. He was almost hoping for some clueless alien to invade the Earth so he could have a chance to let loose. As he went to the bathroom and splashed some cold water on his face. That's a dangerous way of thinking, he thought to himself. I should take some few days off work, back to Kansas. He was hoping that a few days spent together with his mom and pa would get rid of some of this anger. Meanwhile, this move was awesome. No, it was not, horribly inaccurate, and lots of unneeded violence. Especially the rape scene was completely unnecessary. I knew King, Leonie's wife, personally. She would never have sex with someone else than her husband for any kind of favor, said Wonder Woman. The both of them were on their way out of a movie theater. They had just watched together one of the most popular movies of that year, The 300. It wasn't exactly rape, she agreed to it, said Naruto. It was coercion. You go to someone and put a knife at your neck and ask for their purse. Of course they would agree to hand it to you. Diana shot back. As Naruto raised his hand in surrender. But that wasn't the focus of the movie, he said. The focus was on the glorifications of the Spartans against the invaders, she said. Naruto sighed over the past few weeks since they started to live together. He noticed her bias against man in general. A remark here, a condescending one there. She never said bad thing about good man, but she hated the rap singers and a few other similars. Okay, I get it, but you still have to agree. The line, "This is Sparta," was an awesome moment, said Naruto. It gave me goosebumps. You're strong enough to destroy plans, but something like that pump you up, she said. It was different. He was an ordinary man, no superpowers, no technology. The Persian Empire was a behemoth. Compared to them, he was just an ant. But to have the balls to do something like that, I don't know what I would have done in his place. Though they have different opinions about the movies. There. Little competition was fun, as they constantly speak about whether the movie had been good or bad, whichever one they watched. But they came to a stop, as people was outside the movie theater. Thousands were marching together and yelling with chants. "We demand justice! Down with the Justice League!" As Naruto and Diana looked at each other for a moment. "What the hell is going on?" said Naruto, as he wondered what sparked this protest. 2 hours ago before the movie started, there was no sign of protest or anything. "No way this was spontaneous, someone organized this. I'm sure of it," said Diana. As Naruto pulled out his newly purchased smartphone and accessed the internet. Type in "Breaking News USA." At the search bar, he knew what was going on. "Let's go somewhere else," as he put the arm on her waist, and two of them vanished. A moment later, they appeared on one of the skyscrapers as they looked down below. As they realized it was worse than they thought, tens of thousands of people and more of them were gathering by the minute. It was 5 p.m., the peak of the rush hour in New York City. But the entire traffic in the center of the city was frozen. "You have to see this," said Naruto as he showed her his smartphone. As he was redirected to YouTube when he tapped on the first search engine. Batman threw a man off of an 8-story building. It was a blurry video. Seemed like it was recorded by a security camera. "Tell me, who do you work for?" Batman asked, as he was shaking a middle-aged man. "I don't know, I swear," the man said. Batman dragged the man by his clothes at the edge of the building and held him there. The man screamed in terror. "Tell me," Batman said as he held the man off the roof, holding him by his clothes. "Please, I can't tell you. He killed my family if I said anything." As he struggled, as the way he was moving around, his hem of his collar started to rip. As he fell, the screen went black and a few written lines appeared. The man survived the fall, but the doctors say he will be paralyzed for life. Do you really think these people are protecting us? That was a massive clickbait because Batman didn't throw the man, it was an accident. But even though it was posted 3 hours before, it already had over 20 million views. "This is bad," said Diana, as she and Martian Manhunter was the one that always talked to the populace. But how would she justify Batman's behavior in front of the populace now? 2 days later, as Superman and Martian Manhunter were in the office, as Maxwell Lord was behind the table. "My parents taught me to help a helping hand. The people I needed. That is why I offer to help the Justice League, to support them, their operations. But throwing people off buildings, that is not what I signed up for." As he stood up from his seat, as he looked towards the window, in the light of the current events, "I decided to retract my sponsorship from Justice League. If you watch the video, you will know it was an accident," said Superman. "Superman, we agree that you let me do the talking," Martian Manhunter said in his mind. Superman took a breath and became silent. An accident it might be, but the man was paralyzed because Batman thought it was a good idea to hang him from a building like that. In the process of capturing the criminals, mistakes do happen. I am not saying it's a good thing, but it is reality. And regardless of whether one wants to accept it or not, the police has a share of brutal force and use. But the government still finances it. Why? Because society needs the police to function. Cancelling a relationship because of one isolated incident is irrational. The world needs Justice League. Your words are not wrong. Without Justice League, the criminals run amok as they please. But I stand behind my decision. Why? Said Superman, as he was unable to hold his anger anymore. I may be a philanthropist, but first and foremost, I'm a businessman. The general view of the Justice League is worse than ever. If I continue to support an organization that continue to throw people out buildings, my image would be dirty as well. The door of the office was open and a black-haired woman wearing a purple blazer and a white skirt into the office. "Lois, honey, what are you doing here?" Maxwell Lord said. "I had a feeling that Justice would be here today, so I kept an eye open for the opportunity," she said. "With all due respect, this is a private conversation. Mass media is not welcome," said Martian Manhunter. "Oh, don't worry, Lois is okay, she's my fiancée." She raised her hand to show them the diamond ring on her finger. In the end, Martian Manhunter could not change Maxwell's mind, as he stopped his function on Justice League. Through it all, Superman was completely silent. Stone-faced, he had not even made a sound until I left. Time skip. After more than just 2 weeks lazing around, Naruto was getting bored. Wonder Woman was often away, fighting crime, while he had nothing to do, just busy, staying at home, and going on the internet. I won't take a job tomorrow, he said, as him and Diana was walking to the park in the evening. She took her time to reply, I'm sorry. Things are the way they are. I hope we could spend more time together, but there are so many problems. I barely have any free time to be with you. Naruto came in front of her and stopped as she looked at him. Why are you apologizing? I love every single moment we spent together, he said. But the atmosphere here, she said, with a sigh. Just then, a snowflake landed right on her nose, making Naruto chuckle. I don't really care what's going on here, as long as I can see you smile every day. Nothing else really matters. That was so corny, she said. But she leaned on him and placed her head on his shoulder, as he took her hand and they started to walk again. As it was snowing, it was late in the evening. There was almost no people in the park at that time. It's gonna be a short bounty. An information broker sent me a message that the Tanagerans are requesting my services. I accepted because the reward is something that piqued my interest. Do you really have to go, she said, out. You promised I would spend Christmas and New Year's together. What was that you said? Oh yeah, I never go back on my word. Christmas on the 24th here, isn't it? And today is the 18th. I have plenty of time to return. I'll keep my promise, I'll be here for Christmas and New Year's. Even so, I'll be lonely, she said. It won't be long, princess. I shall be back in 2 or 3 days tops. You're going to love what I bring you when I come back. Oh, what is it? I'm not gonna tell you, he said. It's a surprise. Don't be like that, you can't just leave me hanging, she said. But I can, watch me, he said. As she pouted, as he couldn't hold her for too longer. Alright. It's a Thanagarian device. As for what it do, I'm not gonna tell you. As she poked him in the ribs, joking around and teased each other, until they made their way back to the apartment. The next day, Man and Fox left the Earth, not knowing that a world-changing event was going to take place. Time skip. Something on your mind, Kramer asked, as they were currently traveling through a wormhole. When Kramer did not reply, he said bluntly, Are you bothered by Diana? Why would I be bothered by her, said Kramer. I don't know, man, you've been distant of late. Sometimes we don't even see you for days. You even stop pressing me for food, like you used to do. You're acting weird. That is what worries you, that I don't eat? Kramer said that chuckle. There's something on your mind and I know it. Even Diana noticed it. And she haven't known you for as long as I do. As Kramer still didn't say anything, I just want you to know that you're not the third wheel or something. You're the most important person in my life, even more than her. We're brothers for life, Kramer. Look at you getting all mushy and sentimental, said Kramer. I'm telling you, it's not Diana. Who was the one that liked her from the beginning? Try to remember, it was me. As Naruto remembered that Kramer acted like a wingman for them. Then, what's the problem, said Naruto. Come on, spit it out, said Naruto, as Kramer was beating around the bush. I'm hearing voices, Kramer eventually said. Naruto looked at him to make sure he was not messing with him. Are you for real? I don't know what's going on either, said Kramer. Maybe you're finally going nuts. I mean, look at your age, said Naruto. That's exactly why I didn't want to tell you. I knew that you would laugh, said Kramer, with a shout. Alright, I'm sorry, he said. So, what happened? It started a few months ago. At first it happened rarely, once in a while. But it's gotten worse. Whenever I'm awake, I hear broken parts of sentences from multiple voices. And I can't understand what they're saying. It's like a constant buzz in my head. A few months ago. What could have triggered that? It started to happen after we killed the Pisian, said Kramer. You think maybe their ghosts are haunting you, said Naruto. Kramer burst into laughter, seeing the look on Naruto's face. Even after that long time passed since he was a child, he still seemed a bit scared by ghosts. Don't be stupid, ghosts don't exist. Magic is not real either, and gods or demons are myths too, as well. A fox cub transformed into something and blow up a planet is not real either. Point taken, said Kramer. I think we can visit Dr. Face when we go back. He's a sorcerer. He might know about this voodoo stuff. Time skip. I am fully aware how valuable Scorpius cons are, but it's not enough to pay for my services, said Naruto. The winged man sitting across the table frowned behind his golden helmet. It was one of the envoys of the ruling council of Tanagar, sent to seal a deal with Naruto. Your information broker said that the payment was just fine. For espionage, yes, but for assassination, not close enough. Regular assassination missions can cost up to 4 times more. They can be even more expensive than that, given the difficulty. Initially, the bounty was Naruto breaking in a Gordianian asteroid base in the Vega system and stealing their intelligence. A simple espionage mission with his transformation or his camouflage jutsu. These were a piece of cake for him. But now they wanted to assassinate the commander of the Gordianian forces in that asteroid base. As the envoy kept on being pushy, he's been trying to get Naruto to take the job for the past 15 minutes. You don't get to haggle over my services. If you don't like it, hire someone else in Naruto. The fame that Naruto has built for himself over the past century of being a mercenary has spread across everywhere. So, it was not him looking for jobs. People always wanted him. What is your price? Then the invoice said. Well, if what you're asking, I want the nth metal. The man jumped to his feet. Impossible. Nth metal was unique in the universe. It was the Fengar Empire most prized possession. While weapons forged from that metal was not sentient. If you did not bond with it though, you would not bring out the full capability of it. In the hands of a normal person, it would just be a tool to disrupt magic. But bonding with a weapon, you get abilities like self-regeneration, granting the wielder ability to fly, to store energy for later use on. But to bond with it was known only by the Thunderians. It was your pride and your secret. Well, I guess our conversation offers in Naruto. Wait! Giving you the metal is impossible. For thousands of years, we never give it to an outsider. But we can give you anything else, you name it. We can even give you the position as a vast to rule over one of our empires in the section. Or maybe something of value, he said. As he could not see Naruto's face because of the mask. Advanced weaponry, anything. I don't care about that stuff, the end metal is the only thing that interests me. Either that or nothing. In the end, they couldn't come to terms, and the deal fell apart. Time skip. Damn. Waste of fuel for nothing, said Naruto, as he was on his way back to Earth. Then again, it was not the first time a deal fell apart, due to his employer, thinking that his price was too high, so he was not really caring about that. He was just annoyed being away from her for so long. As the ship then came into the wormhole, as he saw the planet. When he got closer though, two spaceships stopped his way. The watchtower had detected him, and some of the Justice League members came to see who it was. But he was allowed access without difficulties. When they saw who it was, as he noticed satellite that surrounded the planet, he noticed that they were even more dense than before. Security has tightened. I should have a talk with Diana about this. Time skip. Hey, I've returned. Already? You said that you'll be away for 2 to 3 days, Diana said. The deal fell apart. They thought I was asking for too much. Never mind that. Where are you? Said Naruto. Currently was in her apartment, but she was not there despite late in the evening. I'm at the hospital, she said. Are you okay? What happened? Who hurt you? Said Naruto. Relax, dummy. I'm okay, but Batman isn't. Superman beat him badly, to an inch of his life. The hell? Said Naruto. I know, we never see that coming either. It was so out of the blue. Earlier today, Superman went in the Source Batcave and beat him into a coma. Batman is still unconscious. Justice League is looking for Superman everywhere, but we still cannot find him. As Naruto turned on the laptop as he talked to see if the general population knew about this, but it was there. Do you know that there's a video of Superman beating Batman? Yes, I watched it too. I do not understand how the mass media got their hands on that. The Batcave's a secret place not known by anyone. The only logical thing is that someone filmed a scene that was close to Batman and posted it. But that made no sense either because the only person he's close to would trade his life for his if it's needed. The Wonder Woman and Naruto has been together. She never told him about her teammate identity, and Naruto never asked. That is why she did not say Alfred's name when she spoke of the person close to Batman. Are you aware of the network of satellites monitoring the Earth? Naruto said. I meant to talk to you about this a few weeks ago, but other names came up, and I forgot about it, he said. You mean the Watchtower, she said. No, I'm talking about the other several thousand of satellites orbiting the Earth. On the other end of the phone call, Diana became silent. I noticed it the first time I came here, but the number increased when I just came back. You should talk about it with the rest of Justice League. If you're not in control of it, that means someone has been watching your move for a very long time now. The video of Batman dropping that guy and the video of Superman beating up Batman in that cave. Only someone in control of the network of satellites will be able to get them. Even if our enemy is in control, how would they get a hold of a video in the Batcave, she said. If someone can control so many satellites at once, how hard do you think it will be for them to hack someone's camera? For all we know, they could use your phone camera, or your laptop's webcam, anything. Is something like that even possible, she asks, a big shock. A human might not be able to do it, but what about a machine? There are AIs out there, capable of doing incredible things. Brainiac, the one who destroyed the Kryptonians, were AI too. The Justice League need to investigate this seriously. Someone has been pulling the strings for a long time now. The implication of Justice League from the populace. And the meta-human. Everything that escalated in past months are probably related to this as well. Time skip. In the hours of the morning, Batman woke up. As he tried to sit up, but his body was in pain. The sound he made attract Martian Manhunter, who was sitting down. He was the only one that stayed overnight to watch over him. Don't try to sit up. You have a broken neck and multiple broken ribs. As Batman became aware of the cast on his body and his neck, he looked like a mummy. It wasn't Superman. His raspy voice came out. Martian Manhunter passed a bottle of water and helped him drink from it. It wasn't him, but there's a video of how he attacked you. It was him, but someone is mind controlling him. A grave expression appeared on the Martian face. If it's gonna be a repeat of when Darkseid brainwashed him, people are never gonna forgive him again. He has to be stopped, said Batman. It seems like he was more worried about Superman's tuition instead of his body being in a cast. The Justice League is looking for him, but we can't find him. Batman forced himself up. You can either help me get up or stand aside. But your injuries are very serious this time, John, Batman said, as he rarely called anyone by their real names. If I get access to a computer, I could find him in a matter of minutes. It doesn't matter where he's hiding. He placed the armor on him and helped him. Worried looks are on the members of Justice League face, concerned that they were in the watchtower after he left the hospital wing. His face was glistening with sweat as he was in pain after what happened. But he endured all, as a username and password came, as he wrote it in. Administer rights revoked. Access denied. What? How is this possible, Batman said. The networks of satellites orbiting the Earth, they were created by Batman. He was also the one that created the AI that administrated it. But he could no longer access it anymore. He lost control of it. Time skip. Are you saying that you've been spying on us the entire time, Green Lantern said. He was not the only one, even someone as composed as Flash. Find the news a bit disturbing. Even Martian Manhunter was thrown as well. But Wonder Woman was not taken aback because she already knew about Batman, deep mistrust of others. Furthermore, Naruto already warned her about the network of satellites. Even though Justice League had over 100 members, it was still the old members that led it. Seeing that Hawkgirl was gone, as Superman, whereabouts unknown, there were only 5 of them. And Batman just revealed to them that he has been spying on many human on Earth, with the AI. We trusted you, Batman. I trust you, said Flash. We've been together through years of many hardships. What makes you think we ever betrayed Justice League? For me, Justice League is not just a team or organization. It's like family, said Martian Manhunter. It is because we've been together for so long. I know everyone very well, said Batman. In the eyes of ordinary people, you're like gods. What happened if one of you went rogue like what Superman did a few years ago, and killed hundreds in Metropolis, under Darkseid control, or like he beat me into a coma yesterday, because someone else was controlling him? You said yourself someone else was controlling him. He would never do something like this willingly, said Green Lantern. Wouldn't he? Did you all forget about Justice Lords? It took only Flash's death for all of them to take a 180 and turn over on the government. And don't tell me that we're different because we're not. They were just like us in the beginning. The rest of them became silent at his words. Now, the League has over 150 members. Most of them are metahumans, people with superpowers. Justice League has grown so powerful, they can take over the Earth in a matter of days. How do you keep them all in check to make sure they're not abusing the power that they have? After all, they're everywhere, all over the world. How do you prepare for the possibility that one of them could go rogue? I had to create a system to keep an eye on them to make sure I could stop that from happening. And look how well that worked for us, said Wonder Woman. Someone stole your AI from you. I know the media have videos of you dropping people out of buildings and Superman going berserk. And you should know very well that is the tip of the iceberg. Whoever is in control is now one of the most dangerous people in the world. He looked like he wanted to say something, but he stopped. The mood was extremely tense. Later that day, Wonder Woman was back in her apartment, as she had a pen and a paper as she was jotting down her thoughts. It all started when Lois and Superman broke up. Lois and Superman broke up, number 1. Then, Lois Lane petty revenge. It was also around that time he became violent when he broke that guy's leg. Superman became extremely violent. Maxwell Lord stopped funding Justice League. Maxwell Lord and Lois got engaged. Superman almost killed Batman. Batman revealed that he has been spying on us, the AI that named Brother. And now he lost control of it. As she was trying to find out what happened to Superman. Was Lois Lane the one that caused everything? No, she quickly denied that idea. She's just a journalist, petty, and vindictive woman. But that's the extent of it. She doesn't have the resources or capability to do something like this. Her eyes found the other name, Maxwell Lord. He is in this as well. He was the one that riled up Superman by stopping the funding and also taking Lois Lane. She shook her head. She did not have enough information. I don't have any evidence, but my gut feelings tell me that he's involved in this as well. He's a billionaire. He has the resource and power to take over Batman AI. John also said that he could not read his mind and see his true intentions. But I don't have the evidence. Am I reading too much into it, she thought to herself. See that Maxwell Lord was not caught doing anything illegal. Her suspicions was basically based on what she thought. She felt 2 hands start to massage her shoulders. It's late already, come to bed. She was going to refuse because she had still so much more work to do, but him massaging her shoulders, it got to her. She turned and she raised her arms. You big baby, he said, as he picked her up as her legs came around his waist and her hands around his neck, as she lashed down to him as he carried her to the bedroom. As he put her down, she would not let him move. Good grief, when did you become so spoiled? He said teasingly, but he lay down with her in bed. As he hugged her, she just wanted to cuddle. Is that a flashlight in your pocket? Or are you just happy to hug me, she said. As the both of them chuckled, you know exactly what you're doing, he accused her. As the both of them went silent for a while, until she spoke. Naruto? Yes? Don't you want to do it, she asked. They had been living together for a few weeks already. Although they agreed for taking things slowly, it became quite impossible for both of them to hold themselves back. I just wanted to meet your mother first, he said. I just want to ask her formally for your hand before we went to the next level. To do this the right way. She turned around in his arms. You want my hand for marriage? She asked. As her face became red. Yes, because I love you, he said. As she felt something in her stomach twist. Like butterflies were dancing in her stomach hearing those words. And the way he said them, the way he looked at her. She cuddled into his chest and she mumbled something. What was that? He said. I didn't hear you. She lifted up her head. I said I love you too, she said. As the both of them share a passionate kiss. As they just hold each other. The next morning, wake up. A voice rang in her head. Wonder Woman. As she groaned. As she looked over the clock, it was 5 o'clock. What is it, John? She said. I'm sorry to bother you, but there has been an emergency. Blue Beetle was found murdered. I'll be there in 15, she said. But guys, if you end episode right here, fun things part, if you know what to do. Like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on the bell notifications they posted. Remember to share all of your friends in your social media platform. And also go ahead and check out the brand new episode of What If Naruto and Sasuke were taken by Itachi, and enjoy that, guys. But for now, I'm out of here. Remember to click that red subscribe button and become part of the Making family. And thank you for all of your help and your support. Remember to comment down below and tell me if you're new. I'll be replying and talking back to all of you. So yeah, without further ado, I'm out for now. See you guys soon. Peace.